Hey everyone, and welcome to Optimising RPG. Now today we're going to do the final floor of Trial Tower. Now we're going to restore to just before we started to go through this large loop around here for the first time. Now last time, when we went through here, we were looking to get our health down to as low as possible by the time we reached the end of this, so we could go back and do all of the percentage damage sources. We also left this one behind to do later. However, it turns out, while optimising this one, that actually it would have been optimal to pick this up right now, and that is because there is this onyx statue here, and also the ones guarding the shield, that you do actually save damage on if you pick this up now, and the amount of damage you save is much more than the damage that you would take from the hot tile, so it's actually optimal to do that instead. So the actual score that you receive on that video is currently no longer the best one. You do have to reorder things after doing that, in terms of the hot tiles and when you take the beam damage down here, but otherwise it would play out largely the same. Now this time for score 5, we actually don't want our health to immediately reduce to 0 straight after this, or as close as we can get it as low, so this time we will be picking up the health instead of taking the damage. This is just going to play out the same here. So this time he's actually doing 10 less damage because of that attack gem that we picked up that we didn't do last time. And we have already opened both passageways by collecting that gem now, which is a bit of a time saving, but I don't think it makes that much practical difference. While we're here, we will be actually picking up that health because we will want it soon. All of this is again pretty much exactly the same as last time. This time, however, we will collect this while we are here, just to save us a little bit of time later, because we can pick it up now. And here we go. So just before, like last time, we are then going to go straight for this shield. Now, on the next floor, there's actually the next shield following this one. The Auramite shield comes pretty quickly after this one, so it is a toss-up as to whether or not you actually want that now. However, we're going to be taking so much damage from these guys and this one, like in terms of number of hits, that it is definitely worth going through all of these monsters here and taking about like 500 more damage than we would need to get our 50 extra defense, because we are going to be getting hit enough times to make that worth it. So they are largely still the same as before. This time, though, again, we shall be collecting this. Now, we do actually want these gems before we take on the boss, so we are going to need to kill this relay here. And as long as we open more Greckle gates, we can just walk all around. We never need to cross that hot tile back in this room down here. We are killing this ninja here largely for the defense now, because again we are just about to take quite a lot of hits. So now we would really like to kill the boss. That's our next main goal. Now he is doing 1068 damage. We got a choice. We can open a blue door, or we can get hit by his beam. And if we get hit by his beam, we are going to need an extra 1068 health, which is 2,136, I believe that comes to. So we would like to get our health that high. A blue door is worth the equivalent of 1,200 health. So if we can get really close to the amount that we want, we actually make an ever so slight score saving, because the amount that we lost in health is less than the value of what a blue key is worth. Now, we've picked up the blue key because we need here about 1,600 more health, and as luck would have it, for the amount of a blue key all the way back on the first floor, there is 1,600 health behind it, which is profitable for the blue key and also exactly works out to what we need. So that's very, very convenient for us. And there we are, our 2,136. We are exactly 1 hit point above what we need. Like, you couldn't have possibly worked this out any better. In fact, this is literally the exact bare minimum health that we need to kill the boss while taking a hit from his beam. I guess one last thing I should briefly mention is that because there's enough health in this hold, we can afford to take this big beam hit. If there wasn't enough health, then obviously we would much rather open the blue door. So there we are, look at that, exactly 1 HP we ended up as, which is quite incredible. And now that we've killed the boss, we can just pick these up. More stats, more keys. So what's coming next? It's important that we take a look at this now. So we've got more onyx statues that ignore our defense. There is this here that will make the way through here more expensive if we don't do it now. It will lock out this green key, and also it changes the value of these yellow doors. So we would really like to kill these guys first. Now when we kill these, we'll pick up an attack gem to reduce the value, and it comes to exactly 500 health that we want to pick up in order to kill these guys. So we are going to go back and we are going to pick up exactly 500 health. The reason why we're not going to pick up as much health as we want is because there are some more hot tiles that we're about to cross soon. So we want to get about as close to 500 health as we can. So let's find out the best way to do that. But before we do that as well, we should consider the fact that we are currently on very low health. This is quite handy because we still have some hot tiles that we wish to cross. So what we're going to do first is we are going to pick up, that is the smallest health potion that is currently left available to us. So we're going to pick that up, and then we are going to do all of our usual hot tile crossings, as much of them as we can, all at once. We will do that while we're here. All of this is fairly standard. You've seen it before in the other video. So I'm not going to go into too much detail. These are all solved in exactly the same way. Why not? Let's kill him because we can. Next hot tile is on the next level, and it's up here. And now that we've done all of our hot tile crossing, we're just going to go down and do this one that we always do last, because it requires us to pick up some health there, which puts us at more health than we did. So now that we've ended this with about 50 health, we need 450 more to carry on with the next level, floor 5. And as luck would have it, on this floor, each of these medium potions are 150, so all we need are 3 of those, and we will be at pretty much exactly the amount of health that we need to do floor 5. And this means that after we've done this, we will be down to below 20 health again, which is, as you know, the magic number for hot tiles. So we're just going to run through this monster gauntlet, get the attack, push the pressure plates, get the defense, and there we go. As I said, 4 HP. We should probably look a little bit more closely at this room. There is the really big sword, however the cheapest way to get it involves being hit by this beam. These monsters currently, they are doing damage, but we're about to gain an extra 100 defense from the Ormite Shield, which will actually make them free, and that is why, instead of killing them now, we are simply going to run through the floor. Now, you can only cross through here 4 times at the moment. All it does is swap these Grackle Gates, and we have so much money, the Grackle Gates don't really matter, so we are just going to walk straight through. And because our health is low, it is much cheaper to take 2 hot tile hits than it is to kill 3 onyx statues. So that we only cost us 2 HP by doing this. Now, there is a defense gem behind a yellow door here. However, the ogre, because there's the relay in the room, like, he costs too much to go for him now. We could backtrack and do it now, but again, we believe that the amount of damage that we're going to take, the number of hits, that we're going to take doesn't make it worth grabbing now until this ogre is cheaper. We can reduce this damage by quite a lot, so we're going to come back for this later. In the meantime, we've now made these guys free, and we're just going to walk down, and we're going to get hit by this beam. Now, it's an interesting setup here. You can actually bump that door there, even though the foreshadow's is the wrong way, and that lets you not get hit a second time by the beam, and as luck would have it, we had exactly enough health to survive this, only being hit once, doing the minimum damage from the beam. So we're just going to spend those worthless Greckles to survive that. Now lastly, if we just press all of these buttons, this attack becomes free, and we don't need to go down here anymore, and we get to save the yellow door attack here. So now we have very high stats. You see, we've massively reduced the value of the ogre. However, we're still not going to pick this up yet, because there are much better rewards past this guy. And so continuing on with the floor and getting up to 282 health so we can survive him is our next plan. So there are more hot tiles behind that ogre, so we're still at the stage where we want to go through this with the minimum amount of health that we can. So, unfortunately, going for the final 30 HP health pickup just wasn't quite enough, so we are going to have to pick up a 45, but that's okay, because we will still be below the magic number of 20 HP after we've killed this guy. So, what's coming up next? Well, we need to get up here to really continue. These Black Widows that we've seen before on the other floor, he's never going to get any cheaper. He ignores our defense, 114 attack, we're never going to reach that. So he's always going to do 2,000. We are going to be crossing these hot tiles as we walk around here. There's an interesting setup here. You can open this yellow door to pick up one of these gems, and it opens up the opposite on the other side. You can never collect all 4 of these. You can always only get 1 pair of attack and defense. So it actually doesn't really matter which door you go for. None of the monsters that we're about to fight are actually going to deal any damage to us, so it really doesn't matter what we do. What I like to do is kill the ninja now, to open this yellow door and then open that one there. It doesn't really matter whether you kill him now or later, but once you kill him, this door opens, so I like to spend the key here and just leave it all open. Whoops. I will just press this now because money is no problem. He's free, so we're just going to keep walking through. I'm just going to pick that up now because we can. Sorry, this pressure plate here, open this door. You're going to see this through this level a lot. Spend a blue key on 1000 HP. So there's tons and tons of health available if we want to spend these blue keys, but not spending the blue key against the boss on the previous level and getting hit by the beam was actually profitable, whereas all of these are a bit of a score loss. So, you know, if we were to run out of health, we would much rather have not done the getting hit by the beam on the previous boss rather than open one of these doors, because we actually would have saved more by not getting hit by the beam because it was a bit over 1000 that we lost. This bit up here, we're going to come back to this later and I will explain what we're going to do there. Although there are 2 doors to go through here, and this one is locked by a green door, what they effectively lead to, these passageways, I'll just run through. We need this second one to continue through the boss, and then in here they unlock the way to defeat these brains for what is the regular boss of this hold. As you can see, at absolutely preposterously huge damage when there are 3 brains in the room, because he's essentially getting a ×8 attack power from it. Obviously you can't possibly fight him like this, but he is still susceptible to the hand bomb. So instead of spending all of these green keys and yellow keys to unlock the brains and kill them, we're just simply not going to bother, and we're just going to blow him up for this score. So that means we don't need to go up here, but we do have to go into this one because it is required to press this pressure plate in order to continue. We're just not going to open that. It is worth noting, I suppose, that each of these are going to cost us a little over 800 damage. You can't see it right now because I'll explain the mechanism when we get there, but basically if we want these blue keys we have to fight these guys at just under 800 HP each. You might think to yourself, oh, maybe it's better to spend this and use it to kill this brain. However, if you do that, it does lock these 2 green doors, so it is still better for score to kill these guys at the full 3 brains before we deal with, instead of opening that yellow door. Pressing this pressure plate gives us now free roam throughout the entire level, and I've picked up this health potion because those were the final hot tiles or percentage damage that we're going to be taking in this holder. So now this means we can finally go through and just basically start picking up everything that we need. You can close that door there to save on Greckles, it doesn't really matter. Do we want to grab this now? We're not going to grab this now because he is very close to actually becoming significantly cheaper if we can get one more attack gem. And there is an attack gem over here, so we're going to pick this up first with the defense, and then we're going to come back and collect this. But in order to do that, we've got to get at least 2000 HP to pass this guy, which we should do as we just go through here and just collect everything that's left. So there won't be many decisions to make here for a while. We're just going to walk through and effectively pick up everything that we can. This health potion here, it's actually score neutral to take it. We don't really have to take it, but I do like to. That attack has now actually made that other ogre free. We could have come here and picked this up as soon as we got the Auramite shield. However, it really didn't make any difference. We haven't actually fought anything except ever since we did that, you know. So we only fought one ogre. In terms of this, in order to get through here and get all of this health, we actually do have to spend the hand bomb on the Protector because he has 1000 defense. Unfortunately, we'd much rather spend the hand bomb on the final boss. It's just much bigger savings than collecting this health and getting this portable orb. So I'm afraid we're not going to be doing that this time, unlike last time, because we have better uses for the bomb. Over here, he's only cheaper because he ignores defense. If we get 50 attack, which we can't possibly do, so we're just going to kill him. We do want that green key, so we're just going to come all the way around. All these guys here are now free. You don't have to kill them. I do anyway. And again, we can avoid stepping on the hot tile completely if we just go around the long way. And some strange setups in this hold that don't actually really do very much. So a lot of the cleanup from here is going to be exactly the same as it was on the previous video. We'll still be just collecting everything that is score positive. There's nothing to pick up in there. What we will do now actually is that we are going to just collect the invisibility potion. We don't really need the Lucky Greckle anymore. I hadn't put it down just because, you know, it didn't really matter, but while we're passing through, we'll just take that invisibility potion. So again, just collecting everything that's not nailed down. Here, there's nothing left on the first floor because we've already opened the blue door, big health cache. So we're just going to carry on. Now, just before we go over there, so this stuff up here is worth an awful lot of score. Unfortunately, we have to get past this guy and all of these monsters in order to get it. Now, because we know we want to use the hand bomb on the boss, because we actually have to kill the boss in order to get his score point, I'll just make a quick save here. What that means is we're going to use the invisibility potion here. You know, this is definitely the biggest cache that we can get with the invisibility potion, the best health savings. We're just going to walk through these monsters. It's not really free to kill any of them, so we will not. Now, this room is pretty odd and needs some explaining. So if you drop your shield here, you can come down through this area and potentially like pick up these, but you've lost the value of your defense. But there's one, and then you come back through and you would basically recollect your one of these. Yes, this one opens up the shield and you would recollect it. But there's a little bit of a problem with all of this. You see, this black door here, nothing opens it. Now, I'm not sure if this is this must be a mistake, but basically if you cross this force arrow, you actually can't get back. So this stuff, it's impossible to collect it. It's a pretty funny mistake, but it's questionable as to whether it would have been worth it anyway. I think it's there to punish you if you really want the keys. which we don't. You may have noticed that we have quite a substantial amount of green keys here. It is a little bit ridiculous. There's nothing to really spend them on. We are finally now, and it deals 148. We're going to be picking this up. And I believe that's everything that we want to collect here. Whoops, we haven't seen that room yet. Yes, that should be everything. So that means it's just, nope, not yet. We need the hand bomb. There we go. I knew I was forgetting something. So I was just away from the window there, just quickly checking my notes, just to make sure I haven't missed anything. Just to save myself from having to re-record it if I make a mistake. Save everyone's time. But it does look like I've got everything. So to explain this a bit, we have to drop our sword in order to not drop this trapdoor, and that gives us a worse weapon to kill these guys with. This is why I said it was only 720, because we effectively lose 100 attack. But with blue keys being worth 1200 HP, it's still a good idea to attack them. And just for laughs, we can collect 1,000 money. And yeah, so here we go. Here are our final stats to kill the Drake. We're clearly not going to be attacking him for 13,800 damage. We're just going to blow him up. And there you go. So that's our maximum score for this score point. So there's not too much to this level, really. I mean, you just have to... If you realise that going for the Auramite Shield first is better, like a lot of the monsters, you're barely doing any fights, you're just running through, and these guys are free. I mean, I don't know why you would even go up here without picking up these expensive, these really, really good pieces of equipment first. So, yeah, it's a little bit, it's fairly straightforward. If you want to actually kill the Drake yourself, then it gets a bit more complicated. There's a bunch of running around that you have to do. But otherwise, there's not too much going on. Now here, we have this guy, the dragon. He's got more HP, but compared to the values that we were seeing from the other guy, he seems like a bit of a joke. You know, if we could actually kill him now with the HP that we've got, and he's doing a lot less damage than the other boss. So what's the problem with this bonus boss here? The problem is that he's got 2 black doors in the way, and we've only got the 1 portable orb that we can access. So back on level 4, where there was that extra portable orb hiding in that gauntlet, where we had to use the bomb on the protector, that's what we actually have to do to kill this bonus boss. So we're going to have to redo a lot of stuff, and it does mean that we use it. We can't use it on this boss, so we're going to have to actually kill him properly, and then, you know, the health that we've got is not going to look so great after all. There is actually another score point when you open this door to open the end. It seems a bit pointless, but as you will see here, it's actually not the best score that we can get. So how in the world could we do things better to make it that this score point gets a higher score than the one from blowing up the boss? Well, the answer to that, and if we just load that game where I said we would save, in the boss room we had these triple-brained monsters that we killed for about, or just under, like 1,600 health. If we use the invisibility potion in this room, we could also save the health on them, and instead we could use the bomb to kill this boss. We would then have to kill the wizard and the ogre, but the amount of damage that they deal is small potatoes compared to these guys. So we're actually going to use the bomb instead. on them. Now, because because we are going to have to fight some things, we are going to collect these stats first. And also, because these monsters here, the wizard and the ogre, we're going to be getting hit a total of 5 times. Even though we will have this defense, we actually save a little bit more by grabbing this defense first, where we only get hit twice to pick up this one. So we get more use out of the defense. The attack would have made no difference. So now that we've done that, we just need to swap our accessory away from the invisibility potion. Ah, that's annoying. I have accidentally walked over this pressure plate, and in doing so I've locked that door. So sadly I'm not going to restart the video, but we are going to have to do that again. You can't actually fast travel in this room here. You do actually have to step across, so I'm very sorry about that. Yeah, if you make your own holds for this, you should really try running through every room with the fast travel and see if you accidentally walk over any important pressure plates. Because you just save people a lot of time and replay of silly things by doing that. Here we go. So now we get to go over and do this with the bomb instead. So because we've got the really big sword, we can walk through that, no problem. He's free, and we're not going to spend 2,000 HP on him. In reality, I mean, you could have used the bomb on the... there was a spider in this room here. You could have used him on him as well. It would have been exactly the same. But I just like to use it on that one up there. It was just easier with the way saving between the score points. So now we get our invisibility potion, and we can take on the final boss room with invisibility instead. So what that allows us to do is to just walk through here. Sadly, we can't collect our free money, but we can just walk through him. If we're going for the bonus boss, we actually can't just walk through, because we actually have to come through twice, because we need to bring the portable orb with us. But we can't just like drop it here and then walk back, use the invisibility potion and pick it up. We do actually have to kill him, sadly. But there we go. What we've done now is we've saved a lot more health. These stats are the same, and by doing that, we've achieved a slightly better score for that extra score point. There's a bit redundant. And there you go. So that's how you get to the end of Trial Tower with a lot of points. Next time, we're going to have to take a look at defeating the bonus boss. There's going to be quite a lot of differences with the score. Health is actually going to start to become a bit of a problem. Keys, fortunately, we've saved enough that they aren't going to be a problem, especially not green keys, but yellows get very low in this hold, as you can see, so we need to try and make sure we save enough that we're not going to be spending them unnecessarily. Well, we're going to have to spend one here, but more about that next time. So that brings us to the end of Trial Tower. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.